Often, as a policymaker, you work a little bit in the dark. It's hard to know, is what you're doing having an impact?
Ultimately, it's about the policies, how they impact the lives of ordinary South Africans in a way that meaningfully can contribute to growth in the future. If you don't have good data, you can't answer any of these questions.
Pretoria, South Africa. On the 20th floor of the National Treasury, there sits an ordinary desk. On this desk, data on every firm in the country. For the first time in Africa, a government has opened up this data to researchers. The hope is that research can help lead to better policy.
For us, data is very important, and my team is responsible for economic analysis. We are a consulting unit to other units of the National Treasury and government, as we do work for the National Planning Commission or the Department of Environmental Affairs or the Department of Energy. So as a unit which is highly dependent on data to do our work, data is very important.
What data allows us to do is to evaluate government policy, to look back in time and understand what has been the impact of government policy. Did we get the value for money that we expected to get? And how can one redesign those programs going forward to make better use of these resources?
One key area where data and evidence have been missing in South Africa is on firms.
Firms are the growth drivers, the job creators in our economy that are paying taxes which we then use to pay for schools, to pay for infrastructure. Economists in South Africa, the academic researchers, the policymakers did not have access to a view of how these firms behave, who they are, which sectors they are in, do they participate in international markets, are they small, are they big, what are their age profiles, are they fast growing or slow growing, what is their productivity. So that information just was not available. We were unable to internalize that information in our policy making.
The National Treasury, together with UNU wider, have embarked on a multi-year program to address this problem. Rather than find new data, the solution they have come up with is to follow international best practice and open up an existing pool of data, tax data on each firm, data that are already being collected yearly by the South African Revenue Service.
It's being collected as part of an administrative process, but it can be used by researchers to generate empirical research.
Research and policy working together may sound nice, but it is easier said than done. With UNU wider, however, the project had a partner that had done it before.
We know the academics in the country that are interested in doing this kind of work. We know the policymakers who are interested in the outputs, who want to know results to key questions. What wider brought was confidence to both of those sides, that this could be done. We had done it before in Vietnam. We were able to organize a large workshop where we brought policymakers from all across the government, really at the technical levels, people who are really interested in research. And we brought leading academics who indicated these are the kinds of policy questions that we can answer if we have access to this data. And we were able to back that up with international experts who went and said, in Vietnam, we went and looked into this particular question at the request of, say, the Ministry of Planning and Investment. We arrived at this conclusion,